evening, viewers. Welcome to your favorite program, Mohorna Theta Bemet, a program that educates and enlightens you on environmental issues. Today, we are lucky, we are privileged to have Edward Kimakwa. Edward Kimakwa has over 22 years' wealth of experience on regional and global environment and biodiversity conservation issues, including sustainable fisheries management, development, and research, climate change adaptation, marine policy, and collaborative natural resources management. Edward, a Kenyan by birth, holds a BSc in Natural Resources from Egerton University and MSc Biology of Conservation from the University of Nairobi. Edward is currently pursuing PhD studies on marine fisheries governance at the University of Nairobi. Edward has undertaken several professional short courses on fisheries, natural resources management, climate change, tropical, fresh and marine water ecosystem, environmental leadership, financial management, economic tools for conservation policy and monitoring. These courses, among others, were pursued at the University of Berkeley, California, USA, the Stanford University, and the Strathmore University. That tells you that we are privileged to have an expert when it comes to blue economy and anything to do with coastal regions. Karibu,
Thank you, Faith. Thank you, Faith.
Yes.
Edward is my name.
Yes.
And it's a pleasure to be here at CAS TV.
Yes.
And indeed, it's a great honor for me and also for my organization that I work for.
Yes.
WWF, that's Worldwide Fund for Nature.
Yes.
And as you have rightly said, I work on a regional fisheries program.
Yes.
That covers the Southwest Indian Ocean region. And I sit in the Nairobi office.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a pleasure to be here in your CAS TV studios.
Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Yes. You know, we just want to know, what is this blue economy? Because it's a new concept when it comes to our people, and we have this conference coming up, but we really don't understand what blue economy is.
Blue economy.
Yes.
When people see people with blue dress now, they're talking about blue economy. The other day, people were seeing me in a blue suit, and they say, is this blue economy?
Exactly.
I think it's a new concept, and really people have to understand. What I can say in simple terms is blue economy is about using marine-based resources and to have this injected into the socio-economic development for the present and also for the future generation. In simple, these are economic activity that takes place in the marine environment. And we are keen to see this is done in a sustainable way.
Okay.
It's not just a question of blue economy, but it's a question of sustainable blue economy.
Okay.
Yes, so we have a lot of resources within the marine environment. We have fish in our marine waters. If you go to the Indian Ocean, you'll find fish there.
Yes.
If you go to the Indian Ocean, you'll also see some tourism activities taking place. Lots of tourists coming to enjoy what we have in our beaches. We have the mangrove forests, for instance.
Yes.
They are also very important for us. We have some other activities like transportation that takes place within the maritime environment. Oil and gas exploration, some energy resources. You talk about genetic material. We have some seaweeds which are also used in terms of pharmaceuticals and all this. So that is the whole concept of blue economy.
Okay.
But from my perspective,
Yes.
from WWF's perspective, it has to be done in a sustainable way, and that's why we talk about sustainable blue economy, which is able to meet the needs of the current generation and also the generation in the future. Yes.
So what are the benefits of, the sustainable blue economy?
Faith.
Yes.
The benefits.
Yes.
There are so many benefits. Do you eat fish?
Yes, I do.
Where does fish come from?
From the ocean, from water? Yeah.
Yes, the fish comes from the water. So obviously the benefits, one is food. Yeah, so we get fish from the water, we get fish from Lake Victoria, we get fish from our Indian Ocean, we get fish from Lake Turkana, we get fish from Lake Baringo, Lake Naivasha, all this is food. So it contributes to food and nutritional security.
So let me just cut you short.
Yes.
When you talk of from the lakes, from the rivers, that means that blue economy will cut across the rivers, the oceans, the lakes. It's not only
that's very, very true. The program that I work for and the organization that I work for, we have been focused more, and you'll see that most of the examples that people will be giving in this discussion will be relating to coastal and marine, because that's where we work, and I work in the ocean program myself. So most of my examples and illustration will be dwelling very much when it comes to coastal and marine. But nevertheless, yes, it encompasses also the freshwater resources. We have Lake Victoria, for instance, in this country. We have Lake Naivasha, Lake Baringo, Lake Turkana. They are very important sources of fish. So I was just only talking about fish for food. And if you are very careful the other day, when His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, when he was launching the Kenya Coast Guard Service recently in Mombasa, Liwatoni, you saw there was something that was done with regards to promoting Eat More Fish campaign. So fish is food. And not only for this country, but globally, fish is very important food. Over 3 billion people rely on fish for food and nutritional security. In this country, in terms of per capita consumption, if you look at how many kilograms of fish do people eat in a year, you'll realize that it's less than 10 kilograms per person per year. But the recommended one is something to do with the 20 kilograms per person per year. So ours is fairly low. That's why this campaign of Eat More Fish campaign. You find countries like Seychelles, for instance, it's well above 60 or so kilograms per person per year. So that's the ocean or blue economy context. We have food. Secondly, we have biodiversity conservation. So if we do this in a sustainable way, for instance, we have fisheries, it's important for biodiversity. We have mangroves, as I mentioned to you. Mangroves are a very, very important ecosystem for marine life. We have young fish, or the fish breed in mangrove areas. The crabs breed in mangrove areas. The coral reefs. Coral reefs also very important in terms of contribution to the blue economy that we are talking about. Coral reefs are important areas, breeding areas for fish, and you also see some tourists coming around. They go to do some snorkeling and just seeing what we have, the rich biodiversity that we have in some of our marine protected areas, because we have coral reef ecosystem in such kind of environment. Another contribution that we are talking about in terms of blue economy is that employment of opportunities. For instance, a fish processing factory will have to employ people. People will have to be employed in a fish processing factory. People will be engaged in fishing. The fishers or the fishermen and the fisherwomen, they get livelihood from fishing activities. So it provides employment opportunities. Globally, we see that almost 1 billion people are directly and indirectly employed in the marine-based kind of economic activities. In this country, for instance, if you look at the fisheries sector, over 1 million people, 1 million plus people are employed in the fisheries sector. Also, it contributes to the economy of the country. In terms of GDP. Although if I may give an example of fisheries in this country, the contribution is not so much. It's about 0.7% of in terms of GDP. You know, that is quite very low. We have done some work as an organization in terms of valuing the ocean economy. And we saw that globally, in terms of what the ocean contributes to the economy and valuing the ocean assets, if you look at tourism, fisheries, and all those kind of stuff, you will find that we are talking a range of 24 trillion US dollars. That's really enormous.
Yes, it is.
And if you translate this into, let's say, gross domestic product, it translates to almost 2.5 trillion US dollars.
Sure.
That's looking at it from the global perspective.
Okay.
Coming down to our region, for instance, I mentioned to you that I work for the fisheries program
Yes.
in the Southwest Indian Ocean region. We also did some economic evaluation, and we saw that about, our ocean assets translates to about over 333 billion US dollars. And if we looked at it in terms of GDP, which we refer to especially for the marine now,
Yeah.
we call it a gross marine product. This translates to about 20.7 billion US dollars.
Wow.
For Kenya, it's a very small portion of that, and it's something roughly 2.4 billion US dollars. So you see, it contributes to the national economy. Transportation. 90% of the goods that we consume, that we use, including even your equipment that you have here,
Yes.
90% is transported by the sea. So you can imagine. So shipping. So all this
Yeah.
gets into the economy. Science and the research, if you go to our coastal and marine environment, even the lakes,
Yes.
they provide room for people to generate more information in terms of science. As if that's not enough,
Yes.
You know about, people have been talking about climate change.
Yes.
People have been talking about the climate change.
Before you,
people have been talking about global warming.
before you go to climate change, I think let's just take a break and then we'll be right back after the break.
Right, thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Yes.